Hi, it's me again, Jennifer Beamer from Expertly Dyed Art by Science. Welcome to video number 2. The first video that I posted from my smartphone, I don't really count as a video because it was sort of haphazardly made. Anyway, so I have been breaking in my new wheel here. As you saw in the first video, I was just kind of talking about random things. But I actually wanted to give you sort of a close-up of how this baby actually works. So hopefully my trusty little IT guy slash cameraman can help me out here. So in the first video that I posted about Tuesday's Soul, we tried to do a higher resolution on a laptop, and there was some encoding errors. So what it looked like, I was actually spinning very, very slowly to make this lace weight single. But actually, I'm spinning quite quickly. I don't know if you can see how quickly this little thing is rotating, but it is definitely not slow. So hopefully this new video that I'm putting up today will look a little bit better, actually capture the amount of revolutions that the bobbin is going through right now. Anyway, second thing, this is a double drive wheel. Now I'm getting used to this because the big wheel that I had was a single drive wheel, and basically all that means is, and of course here I am talking and not really paying attention to my yard. It'll be okay. So if I can get a close-up here. Ah, perfect! Great. Yeah, thumbs up. This is a piece of hemp that is really long, and it's been wrapped around the wheel twice. You can see this is the bobbin and this is the whirl. Now the whirl just screws on, and I can show you that in a different video. So this just screws on to the flyer piece, which is this piece here. Okay. And then the bobbin, which actually moves by itself. So a lot of times there will be like this part right here is a whirl, and also this is another whirl. This one is attached to the bobbin and this one's separate. So this is the drive band here, and I know this is probably going to be so confusing. This goes around the whirl that's attached to the bobbin here, and when it wraps around again, it goes over this detachable bobbin. So what this allows you to do is have various ratios. Now, I'll talk about this whirl first. So this one has 2 grooves here. This one is the larger one, this was the smaller one. Then we have the bobbin, which also has 2 whirls. So there's a larger one on this side, and then if you look over here, there's another one here that's very, very small. So for this combination setup, there are 4 ways that you can set this up for different wheel ratios. Basically, that just means every time the big wheel down here goes around once, there's a number of spins that this will go through per revolution of the big wheel. So I don't really care so much about that because most of the time I just make yarn because that's what the fiber tells me it wants to be. So I guess I have a more organic style of spinning. But for people who are really interested in getting specific yarns, or if you're going to be making a large amount of yarn and you need to have a very specific gauge throughout maybe 2 pounds of fiber, this becomes very important to be able to calculate and make sure that you stay consistent. So hopefully this will come up when I actually start spinning. So, and if it doesn't, use your imagination. So I'm gonna keep it here. I'm going to fire you in a second here. Eyes over here. So, without cutting the camera away, you can see how the two drive bands go over each piece as I'm spinning. Okay? Now this is something that I never really thought about, but this part right down here, this is where the one piece crosses over itself. And I thought at first this was going to be a problem, but it actually isn't. So if this happens to you, it's okay. Let me just hit my wheel. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Another thing I guess I want to talk about too is what this is made out of. Like I said earlier, this is made out of hemp. Now, I know that sometimes you can get this like a double drive band made out of rubber or plastic, which I guess is fine, but I guess some really hardcore spinners actually prefer to use a natural fiber, preferably something plant-based like hemp or flax or maybe even cotton. Um, I don't know, I really haven't experimented much, so I can't really verify that. Also, I don't know if I'd ever really noticed, but just letting you know in case you were curious. This wheel is also eligible to be set up for Scotch tension, which currently it is not. When I decide to do that, I will do a video. I will do a video of how to set that up and how it works. So, and then the last thing I wanted to show you in this video is basically what my hands are doing. Normally what I do is, for my babe wheel for about the year and a half I had it, I would always draw back like this, which I guess is called a backward short draw method, and then I would let it feed into the wheel. However, this wheel doesn't really lend itself to doing that process, so I've had to switch to a forward draw. So I do a short forward draw method, which produces a worsted weight or worsted style yarn, which basically means that all the fibers are parallel to each other. So you get a tight, dense, strong yarn that's suitable for hard-wearing items. It won't produce much of a halo at all, like a woolen will. The little pieces, the ends of the fiber will stick out in the yarn and make it really fuzzy and soft and warm. But basically, this is what my hands are doing. If you can see, my right hand is very far away. It's basically just holding the fiber supply and every so often letting my left fingers draw up the bundle a little bit. But I've been spinning like this for a really long time, and this is the way that I like to spin. And I mean, it's kind of weird getting used to spinning a new way. So maybe this first yarn won't be perfect, but it will certainly be an eye-opener for me because, you know, like I said, I had to switch from the method of spinning with my babe wheel for a year and a half all of a sudden to this style, which if you saw me my first night, I was making all kinds of mistakes with the tension. Oh, I should probably talk really quickly about the tension too. So this little thing here, it's this really cool screw. If you can maybe get this type view, maybe if we go straight on. Ding dong. Okay, there's a wooden screw in here. Okay, and when you twist it up or down, it changes the tension. So this is how the uptake is generated. So if you feel like the yarn is getting ripped out of your hands, then you should turn this down a little bit. If it's not, if the uptake is too slow and you're overspinning, you just twist it up a little bit. That way you can get the yarn to go on a little better, and preventing over twisting. So, and also over time, the drive band here, the natural fiber, over time, it will start to break down and pull apart. So you'll have to move this up and down accordingly. But I imagine with something like hemp or flax, you don't really need to worry about that so much. because it's a really durable fiber. Anyway, so hopefully you have been with me this entire video. Promise to make higher quality videos as soon as our computer gets back here. We had this little guffaw with our boxes being sent back from Korea to the United States on a slow boat. I told you that in my first video. I also wrote about it in my blog for anyone who was curious. So we're doing this on a laptop, and it's really not designed for this because the processing power needs to be a little bit higher, so I can do maybe 720 without hiccups, or maybe even HD. Wouldn't that be fabulous, actually being able to see what it is that I'm doing? Anyway, so if you like this video and you want to see other things, if you have questions, be sure to post below. I reply to all my comments. If you want, please follow me on Twitter or Facebook. I post there pretty regularly. Promise not to spam. I do have an Etsy site that I hope to reopen soon, but like I said, all of my boxes are in maybe somewhere in the water heading to America, or maybe they're there already, I don't know. So once that gets back to me, I can actually open my shop again, do some selling. I also have some really cool things coming up soon, which I can't talk about, even though I really want to. So if you want to see me grow, please subscribe. Okay? Thank you very much.